Being able to study abroad is something that I never ever dreamed I would have been able to do. And once I found out that I was gonna have to do that, it was like, okay, I have to go to the W. Like, they're giving me money to go to Europe. We were in Scotland for 1 month, and we had 2 free weekends while we were there. And so it was right at 30 days. We would wake up probably around 8 a.m., we'd eat some breakfast, and then by 9:30, we would go to the Queens Ferry bus stop and get on bus 41. And so we would be in class by 9:30 or 10.
We might start off in the classroom, studying some literary scholar from Scotland, and then it could change to going out and visiting the Edinburgh Castle, or and learning about people that lived there or did major works there. Sometimes we would take trips, around Edinburgh, so we might go to the Highlands or do some exploring out there. Like in Glasgow, we visited some museums and things like that.
And so I did a research project on Jenner's, a department store in Scotland, and I just focused on Jenner's the entire time we would do research in the library. Some days you would spend 6 hours in the library just getting it, and then some days you would spend 45 minutes because that's really all you had to look at that day.
I chose the Southbridge Vaults because I like ghost stories, and I like hearing about the supernatural, and I like the way there was historical backing behind the idea of these ghost stories. So it's not just like oh, my house is haunted. There's actual they were vaults that were used for illegal purposes. Possibly they had brothels down there. So you can only imagine the kind of things that happen in an underground society. And so that's what the Southbridge Vaults made me think of, and I was really interested in that.
I was really nervous going on there. I was afraid that it was gonna be like a completely different culture, but there were a lot of factors that really kind of translate over here as well. And it was just a lot of fun getting to see the different cultures, because although there were a lot of similarities, there were a lot of big differences too.
I did my research project on Calton Hill, which is one of UNESCO's World Heritage Sites. Calton Hill is a beautiful hill that's 338 feet tall, 22 acres, right outside of Edinburgh. It's right on the edge of the city. And it's just a beautiful place that people have loved for centuries because they can go up there and enjoy the fresh air and get away from all of the city hustle and bustle.
A few things I would take home with me is definitely that traveling is actually a lot easier than you would think, and that everyone should honestly do it despite fears or inhibitions. That traveling, especially learning while traveling, honestly opens you up and allows you to be a better individual, not only for yourself, but for society in general.
Well, my project was on Hibernian Football Club, and our research assignment was to pick a location in the city we wanted to research. I think what I decided on from what I found is I'm going to look at a lot of cultural importance of sports growth, specifically football in Britain in post-war Europe. Asking research questions in history and humanities is much different than asking a research question, say, as like a science major. And this has definitely helped me look at ways to form questions for research. If you have the opportunity, take it. It's a big commitment, academically and financially, but it's worth it.
If you just submerge yourself into the culture as much as possible and do as much as possible, and it's gonna feel like you're really tired all the time, but at the end of the day, it's worth those experiences. It's worth learning and meeting the new people and just gaining that life experience that you'll hold on to forever.
My research project was on Arthur's Seat, which is an ancient volcano in the middle of Edinburgh. Edinburgh is built all around it and on top of it. I ended up really liking it because it's just a little retreat in the middle of the city. Edinburgh is incredibly old, but it's still constantly changing. But Holyrood Park, where Arthur's Seat is, and Arthur's Seat itself never changes. You step inside there and you're away from the city.
Mentored and study abroad is so much fun. You've done it before. It's not as stressful because you're not a student, but like I said, you see these students, they change a little bit when they're here. Traveling, leaving the country, they become different people, and it's really, really cool to be the kind of leader that gets to see that and help that happen. I think along with the first time I was here, traveling abroad just gives you a certain sense of confidence. You feel like you can kind of do anything, and people told me that when I got back, that I had more confidence about me because I'm wandering this massive city on my own. I'm getting lost, I'm dealing with people I've never met before. Doing it the second time, I'm even more confident, and I have even more experiences and even more things that I can talk about that'll help me throughout more school and my career.
I've seen a lot of the students grow more confident. In the beginning, everyone went out in big groups. It was, hey, let's all go out to lunch. And now it's, I'm gonna go grab some food. I'm gonna go to the store on my own. And it's just amazing to see how within a month they become so comfortable with a city that at the end of May, they were completely uncomfortable with.
For me, I think the most valuable thing about this experience is just living with 17 or 16 other people that have been around for the last couple years that got to know a lot better in a new setting. And it was just such a wonderful experience being able to travel around Scotland with everyone. I think that's probably the most valuable thing I've experienced.
It's an amazing experience. You become closer with your friends. You get to learn hands-on, and I think it sticks with you better because you have an experience to go with it, and a lot of times that's the way you learn.
I would definitely recommend the study abroad program. Opened my eyes, huge experience for me. It's still it probably is my favorite summer that I've ever been traveling, and I learned a lot from that.